Happy Saturday, and welcome to the Ram Ashram Satsang Weekend Workshop, where you'll learn a modern Satsang method for obtaining peace, light, and love in your life. My name is Eddie, and I'll be introducing the facilitator for today's event. But first, I'd like to give you a brief overview of this Satsang session. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin its practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of satsang, inner satsang and outer satsang. An example of outer satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain high states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The satsang that you will learn today is an inner satsang where we meditate in silence. Group session. These weekend workshops are structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these weekend workshops, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul, but only through the practice of inner satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy, which we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions: the informative session, the practice session, and the interactive session. During the informative session, a lecture will be given about a satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the interactive session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. And now, I'd like to introduce the facilitator for today's event. He has over 40 years of satsang experience. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ram Ashram Satsang. He was born into a satsang family where he experienced his family members obtain states of enlightenment and lead lives of peace, light, and love. At an early age, he began traveling with the mission throughout India, facilitating satsangs. And during that time, he witnessed the positive effects that satsang could have on mankind. And upon arriving to the United States, both he and his wife continued to facilitate satsangs for local satsangees. He has led teams of satsang members in translating important satsang literature into English, and has worked tirelessly to make satsang more accessible to Western and English-speaking audiences. He currently travels throughout the United States, India, and England facilitating satsangs while maintaining his duties as a husband, a father, and an IT executive. Today, he will teach us a rare and ancient form of satsang as taught by Guru Maharaj. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Sanjeev Kumar Ji. Sanjeev Ji is not here yet, so let us take a brief moment to remain in silence until his arrival. I expect him probably in the next 2 or 3 minutes or so. Sanjeev Ji, welcome.
Happy Saturday, everyone. Sorry, got delayed today. We'll talk about that maybe after. Still soaking in some of the energy I got through my travels in UK and We had a in-person in Philadelphia last week, a weekend. So really uh, feeling very energized. And, uh, you know, sometimes I feel there is, life that happens, and then there is this vertical ascent that you need to focus on, which uh, you will have to make some effort to give back. So, taking or expecting and desiring stuff is one, necessary way to survive. But then, how do we, within that framework, start giving back? How do we start looking at what we are here for? How do we help, um, you know, uh, others around us? And sometimes, uh, you know, um, helping and giving is not as difficult as, I mean, there are various modes. And, through my engagement with satsang, what I've realized is that giving back is absolute must. So if you want to be happy, which all of us want to be, the what we, I think, forget is, when we help someone, we are actually helping ourselves, because the happiness that results from it cannot be compared with other things that we can do. So really the ROI on giving back is just so um, um, in your favor. But somehow, that perspective, um, either we forget or we just don't put enough attention to, or we get misguided, we misunderstand stuff, which we all do in our own ways. Um, the the more I think about satsang, the way it grew in India, like create a family, so which means bonding, relationship, uh, you know, and that in a spiritual backdrop gives an opportunity for people to, just help each other. And one way to help is just, to sit with them in satsang. I mean, how difficult is that, right? Positive backdrop, uh, imbibing positive energy. And when you sit together, not only you are helping repel things like loneliness, repel things like, negative backdrop, or, so satsang becomes a positive backdrop, as well as the collective energy uh, where it amplifies. And the more and more I think about the process here, is there are get-togethers where the negativity multiplies, and then there is satsang where the positivity multiplies. And it's hard to explain. I mean, and probably, sometimes uh, it's all wordsmithing, but at the end of the day, what we feel here is that there is um, this environment, this backdrop that satsang provides, where not only we can be positively influenced, and imbibe positive energy, but what we feel is that when we sit in person, which I think in last 2 weekends, what I found was that in person, just has a multiplier effect. It has an exponential effect on the effortless way in which you feel on a higher ground. Um, it's and more and more you are able to even connect with that, then nobody has to really tell you why to do satsang, because in a way, it's all about um, when you sit in satsang. So when you meditate yourself, that's one state that you get into. But when you then come to a virtual session like this, there is another multiplier effect, because the way Guru Maharaj packaged this is that it has a multiplier effect. Um, you know that 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 definitely, just because the way it is structured, that you come together, there is music, there is, discussions. When you listen to some of, just, like satsang overview is repeated, but I'm telling you, it's a how it helps you tune inwards and towards connect with this positive energy that starts right there. um, and then music helps. So the whole entire thing, the way it is structured, helps you get into a deep meditation mode. And even in virtual sessions, the collective energy effect is there. But then you sit in person, and you absolutely feel that effortlessly. You get, I mean, literally, if you especially some of these weekends, there were multiple sessions, and when you go into the weekend, what the state was, and what, by the time you come out of that weekend. So I started calling it immersive weekend, and it is immersive, in this positive energy, which then just in a way, what I have found is it disconnects you with whatever was going on, so gives you like your own space in some ways. um, Connects you with positive energy, which means that it uh, just orients you slightly differently, at least for that time. And sometimes that, if the absorption of the energy is at certain levels, then it continues for some time. So if you do this booster dose again and again, it just takes you farther and farther. So I feel, there is individual practice, then there is this virtual practice, and then there is this in person, and all has to go together to bring you to, have the orientation, the connection, the overall absorption, and hence storage of this energy. So all that starts growing to a point where I think we ought to get to a point where it's peace on demand, or you connect on demand, so you can replenish the energy. You can uh, you know uh, it, literally effortlessly. So all right. So I I I actually, maybe in the next session I'll do that. So while I was traveling, I was listening to a podcast, very, very inspiring, but that's probably for another day. Um, so let's get into um, you know uh, connecting with the peace that's within. Um, so inward orientation, which you know, as I was saying, it's like from step one itself, we start changing our mode, and that change of mode is that this peace that is inside, um, you know, we ought to connect it through inward orientation and concentration of our mind. So um, so what we do is sit in a relaxed and still posture, eyes lightly closed, because all that helps concentration of mind as well as the sensory input. And as your body moves, your mind moves with it. So all that we want to minimize. So still and relaxed posture, eyes lightly closed, and then think of this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you are becoming one with this light. You are becoming the light. You're getting completely and totally immersed in it, inside and out. So mind wanders away, which it will, um, but bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that transcendental energy in form of light is right here, right now, and it's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you are getting completely and totally immersed in it. We'll start with music. Music fades away. Then we go deep into silent meditation, and then we transition out with music again. Um, let's start now. Glad that we are here in Satsang. Happy Saturday, everyone. Hope you had a good session. So, Luz, Rich, Onkar, and Eddie, I have to leave in 5 minutes, but let's you know just exchange some notes. Um, so Luz,
Happy Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt.
no, I was just saying hello to you. So
It's great to be with you all again, as always. I'm dutifully always at this meeting because I love our satsangs together. They are a great way for me to reset and start my week. So thank you all. And today was a beautiful meditation. Um, I loved what you said. Just two things are in my mind that I wanted to just say. I loved what you said about, the necessity of giving back. Something that I always think about and think about ways in which I can do that. Sometimes I'm not always, life gets busy and preoccupations take over sometimes. So it overshadows that, sadly. So it's a good reminder, and a goal for each week. And then the second thing I wanted to say was, um, sometimes when I meditate, I'm able to keep the consistent presence, but sometimes thoughts come into my mind. But interestingly, I've noticed that the thoughts have like higher quality. They're like higher quality thoughts that pop in when I meditate. Like they're very helpful. Like it's sort of like, ooh, this was a little problem I was thinking of before, and all of a sudden I found the answer. So yet another benefit from meditation, it seems.
so your voice is a little affected. Is that allergies or something
I
else?
think it's allergies. They're out of control this year. I don't
Yes.
I Yeah.
Yeah. Same
I'm
in this
quite sick.
Yeah. Yes.
Every week it seems I'm sick. So
Yeah.
I think it's allergies, but yeah. Sorry for my scratchy voice.
No, good to have you as always. And I think the first thing about giving back, the more I think about it, it's like just being in satsang is giving back in the sense that you are, while you're gaining, you're also sharing, right? It's a very interesting thought that just by being here, we are helping ourselves and others at the same time. See, the other thing that again and again and again it comes up, like we should have you know, a session for young adults, the next generation, beginners. And I always feel that that was never the case. And the reason is that um, until and unless you have the grounded people in the satsang, the quality or the, like what happens naturally, which is like you naturally, effortlessly get uplifted in your state to a higher ground. That, how would that happen if there were only beginners? But yeah, I mean, that thought always comes to me when I think about beginners session, that all of you would have to be there because that's how they will relate to what happens here. Because what happens is just that when we all connect to this positive energy, that not only affects us, but affects everyone who is within the session. And that's what I think satsang is.
That's a beautiful thought. And perhaps in some ways, even though they are beginners, there might be a transference coming from them too, of
Which
some
always
kind.
is the case. Yeah, I shouldn't.
A
But
possible purity. I don't know. You never know. Yeah.
The only flip side to that is like sometimes when there are phases, there are energies, and I mean a teenage phase, for example, there's a lot of energy, but not necessarily grounded energy. But that can happen to us at any age too. So, but again, so while so if I go back decades, Guru Maharaj used to have very senior people rather than upfront within people, like so that so if there are lots of people in person, these people who are more grounded would be sitting within them. So I now I have a little more context to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a balancing. It's kind of a balance.
Yeah. Very well. Rich, how are you doing?
Wonderful now. Thank you. Yeah. I missed it Tuesday and I was sorry. So yeah, I could talk for hours and days, so I'll spare everybody that, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Just thrilled.
So yeah, I have been thinking of talking to you about, utilizing some of your background to start looking at how to promote the satsang events a little more, which we don't do very well. But anyway, that's
No, but
another
I'd
time.
be happy to do it. Be happy to do it. Yep.
Yes. So, Eddie, if you could continue, please. I got to run. But as always, it was a great session, and thank you so very much to be here. And love, light, and peace be with you. We'll catch up soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev ji.
Namaskar.
Namaste, bhaiya. Bye, everyone.
Namaskar.
Just Sanjeev, you talked a little bit about focusing on the form of light, and I just wanted to maybe mention a story to help you all realize the importance of that stage of our practice in terms of practicing inner satsang. A long time ago, there were these groups of people who are a little bit more advanced than we are, and they longed to know the secret of yoga. And in order to be accepted into, the group where they would be taught this method, they had to go through some trials. And this took a long period of time for them to be accepted. But when they were finally accepted, they were taught this sort of method of inner yoga that we are practicing today. And, the first stage of that is obviously to direct your attention inwards and to focus on a thought, or in this case, the form of light in front of you. And sort of the thing is here is I just want to make mention very quickly is that Sanjiji never tells us the type of light we should focus on, right? He always leaves that up to ourselves. And that's very important because you'll find the light that is best for you to achieve the concentration that is necessary to be successful in that portion of the inner yoga. So you keep searching for that particular light that withdraws your energy from your senses and directs it inwards, and then you'll know when you've achieved that and when you found the proper light. But anyway, as you focus on that light, thoughts will come up, and you have thoughts about worldly things, and you just have to bring your attention back to the light again in that form, and it entering into your heart. And this phase is so important. And I mentioned that a long time ago, some beings who were a little bit more advanced than we were, when they were taught this method, they took that very seriously. And as they practiced in the temples, they practiced with a strong sense of commitment. I mean, this was the thing that they wanted to be successful in more than any other. So they didn't necessarily think about the other stages to come. It was this phase that was the most important to them. And so they practiced with a lot of commitment and fervor and concentration, because they wanted to master that phase. And so that's sort of where we find ourselves at today. When we sit here as a group in satsang, we must have that same kind of attitude, that we'll be successful in this drawing of our attention inwards and focusing on the light, whatever light we choose, focusing on that light and being successful at that. And so as our thoughts rise up again, immediately bring them back and focus on that light, and believe that you will achieve it, and that this can be achieved, and stop at absolutely nothing to make that happen. Because once you achieve that, you'll see that the other stages, meditation and samadhi, will come quite quickly after that. So, this is the big, I'm not going to call it an obstacle, but it's the one thing that you have to overcome. It's the first stage, and it's it requires the greatest amount of energy, but it's doable. And once you master this phase, the other phases come quite easily. So Sanjeev mentioned that today, and I just wanted to bring that up, how important this phase is, of drawing the conscious inwards and then focusing on that form of light. Very important. And we should approach it with with the idea that we're going to be successful at this, that this is a very important stage, and we're going to conquer it, and we're going to develop our consciousness by becoming masters of this phase. So that's kind of all I wanted to say about that today. Just a very important phase. So let's respect it and consider the benefits of just focusing on this phase and mastering it. So that's all I kind of wanted to say. With that, we can close unless anyone else has something they want to offer. Please speak up. Okay, if not, then everyone have a great day, and we'll see everyone on Tuesday or next Saturday. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.